Authenticity and being true to self will always surpass and supersede the next best, the next trend, the next click. Hi, thank you for joining yet another episode of Get Set with Lissette. This is where we have inspiring conversations that empower you to get set. Wanted to just have a moment to play catch up. I've been quiet recently. I haven't really been doing a lot. And the reason for it is because there are moments in life, and I'm just a firm believer of it, where you have to just take inventory. Consider what you have going on. Where are you in the process of whatever your dreams, your focus, your whatever it is, and decide, are you being authentically true to yourself? And is this what you were, whether it's predestined to do or whether it's something that you're looking to do? And I found myself battling between putting out authentic content, being true to self, but then also going against this whole idea of clickbait and this clickbait culture that we tend to, or we look like we're going into. And I realized that is not what I'm looking to be or do. And honestly, clickbait can be draining and it takes a lot out of you, and it takes the authenticity away from the things that you try to do. So I wanted to really recollect myself and look to provide content and information that I am both inspired by myself, as I've always shared that I will do, but then also being true to self. So today's episode is actually going to be exactly like that. In a time where viral gets more attention than value, how do we stay rooted in truth, depth, and alignment? So let's get into it. As you guys always know, the way that I start my episodes is by providing context behind whatever the topic of conversation is. And whether there's a guest with me or I'm doing it on my own, I'm still going to stay true to that. So I got to thinking, what is clickbait and why is it so draining? So let's start with just a simple definition. Clickbait is content designed to grab your attention through exaggeration, emotional manipulation, or shock value, often at the expense of depth, honesty, or intention. You see, its purpose isn't to inform or uplift. It's to trigger a quick reaction, to boost the engagement, clicks, or views by any means necessary. It is literally just your shocking headlines, your surface level content, the emotional manipulation, and the constant urgency of what is necessary. So now let's think about, how does that show up? So the way that it shows up is in those, I need this right now. Stop what you're doing. Look at this. Hey, this happened, that happened. It's just, it creates this level of dopamine of these quick grabs, these quick attention getters. But then there's nothing behind it. And so in understanding that, I just wanted to explain that clickbait isn't just about the headline. It's a mindset, right? It tells us that grabbing attention is more important than holding it with meaning. So when you think on that, all I'm doing is grabbing your attention, but then I have nothing to give you. And that is by no means something I ever want to get into a habit of doing. See, the clickbait idea prioritizes performance over presence. It's that noise nourishment. And honestly, it's exhausting. Not just for myself as a creator, but also just as a human being. It's exhausting to deal with and trying my best to keep up with this clickbait presence. And the problem with it is that it creates burnout for myself as a creator, but then also you as the audience, always constantly jumping from subject to subject, always constantly trying to figure out what the it topic is, staying in the know. It's exhausting trying to continue in this framework day in and day out. It keeps you at a high level of dopamine, constantly chasing the next thrill and never allowing yourself the opportunity to just reset. It feeds short attention spans. emptier engagement, things that don't have substance behind it, and disconnection from deeper truth. It makes people feel like their message has to be extreme to be heard. You see, clickbait might catch eyes, but it rarely touches hearts. It doesn't go past surface level. And so the reason for me even talking about this as a subject matter is because we're coming up on 1 year of Get Set with Lissette. And I made a promise to ensure that I would lead conversations with exactly what I have said from the very beginning of every single episode, inspiring conversations that empower people to get set. And so the reason for today's topic is because, as I said, I too found myself competing, looking for engagement, looking for opportunities on how to build a platform of substance, but in a world of clickbait, and finding ways to, whether it was changing up my tone, whether it was figuring out what that looks like when it comes to topics of conversation, whether it's just trying to find my grounding in a new space that, for me, that has so many different arenas, one can get lost in that. So I found myself in this spiral, and I needed to remind myself of the mission, remind myself of the passion that I started this project with. And that's what this is about. So in understanding that, I believe in the importance of staying grounded in alignment and purpose. And so how can that show up? For me, staying grounded was doing exactly what I'm saying. It was stopping. It was, and I talk about this on another episode, it was making room for the pause, allowing myself to reset, to reconnect to self. It gave me an opportunity to ask myself, is this me? Or am I trying to manipulate a moment? Am I looking to create something just based off of what could be? Those questions are questions that, while yes, I'm saying for it on this topic alone, it's not necessarily just in this. Ask yourself those very same questions. Is this topic for myself? Is this something that resonates with me? Or am I simply trying to keep up with the Joneses and have something to talk about on the daily breakdown of whatever it is that we've got going on in pop culture, in the Love Island worlds of everything, and all of the above? My goal was to return to my mission. It was to educate, empower, and build real connection. So think on what that looks like and what that means for you, and consider how that shows up, because this applies to more than just content. These are relationship goals and, goals in life, as well as the daily choices that we make. Are we making choices based upon what's best for us, or are we making choices based upon what media tells us we should think, what media tells us we should do, and how to move? I don't want to be the kind of person that is either easily swayed into something or jumps from thing to thing to thing based upon what's around me. I look to pride myself and ground myself in what is real. And I would absolutely recommend that for anyone that's listening or watching this as well. Ground yourself on what is real for you, and take time to do your best to connect, whether it's with creators or content creators or podcasts that resonate with you based upon what they're teaching you or giving you, or if it's based upon opportunities for growth and evolution, or if it's based upon the direction that you see yourself going in life. Take that time to do that. Because to be honest with you, I'd personally rather impact 5 deeply connected individuals than impress 500 superficially. And there lies the difference. So with understanding this idea of clickbait and with going into what I just said and being extremely transparent about my journey personally in looking to ground myself and go against the norm and do my best to be intentional with everything that I do, I thought that with the topic of today, I would do the same and try to find something of content and of use, substance for you, the listener, the audience. So here's just 4 practical ways to practice purpose, should I say, over performance. One of the things you can do, pause before you post. You want to ask yourself, does this align with my message, my values? Is what I'm posting content that is a true definition or representation of self? Or am I simply following the trend? And don't get me wrong. I am a fan of a good TikTok dance here and there. I'm by no means going to say not to do anything that trends or whatever this case is. But what I'm saying is just to pause and think about when you move in this space and place, and we all know it, all we're giving typically when it comes to the social media world are our highlight reels. We're doing the best that we can, and we're providing the top moments of our lives, the peaks of what we go through, the mountaintops of our successes, the perfections of moments that we experience. Rarely do you see the valleys that people go through, the moments of questioning, the uncertainties of what it means to be a human being at this point in a world of complete chaos. Another practical thing to do for self, and again, this isn't just as a content creator or anything of that nature, and it doesn't have to just be for social media. I mean this in just a way of practicing your everyday life and trying to be less clickbait-ish and more genuine. Set personal metrics that matter for you. Instead of likes, track moments of impact or feedback, do things based off of how you feel and how whatever it is makes you feel. And create metrics that are things that are tangible, meaning whether it's creating an opportunity on working out for X amount of minutes a day or hours a day for those that are very out there, amount of minutes to read, whether it's, a metric in personal endeavors on getting to certain things, whether it's savings or your professional career or whatever it is, but setting metrics on tangible things so that you're not forced into this doing because I have to or because this is, again, what others are doing. A third practical thing that you can practice that I personally have been doing with self, and it is a game changer, are daily grounding practices. Whether ways that shows up, morning check-ins. What's my intention today? What am I looking to do? How am I showing up today? Other ways of grounding, journal, pray to whoever you pray to. Take time with self, sit in stillness. Those small practices can help create a better you on starting your day and ensuring that you are being intentional with the way that you are moving. My last little practical kind of thing to do before I start talking about the real life moments of how this shows up is to curate what you consume. So if you are an actual person that's trying to create something, whether, again, social media or any kind of content or a professional of any sort, make sure that what you do is you align yourself with like-minded individuals. So if it's, because I don't want it to just be based upon, again, social media. So when I say curate what you consume, if your hope is to be in, I don't know, we'll say something ridiculous, the finance industry of some sort, Get around other individuals that are in that industry. Listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos, and that is not what you'll get here, but maybe sometime, some way you might, depending on who sits on the couch next to me. But listen to things of that topic, of that, information, the industry that you're looking to do. Read books based upon that. Consume what it is you're looking to be or do. And in that same regard, protect your peace with boundaries around your scroll time and or lifetime. Protect your peace. So again, when I'm talking about curating what you consume and curating, I'm a firm believer that you are what you surround yourself with. And it's not just based upon the clickbait of social media, but the clickbait of life. If I want to be a better, quick plug, because this is what actually provides what I do for a living, and the ability to give these podcasts and the platform that I'm doing. I do practice real estate in the central Pennsylvania area. Plug finished. In that, if I want to be the best realtor that I can be, my goal then is to consume information about what's going on with market trends. How are things moving forward? Surrounding myself with high-performing individuals in that industry. Reading books about how to ensure that whether it's learning how to negotiate better or learning how to be better in speaking or finding opportunities to grow in whatever it is, just using real estate right now because that's my plug and it's what I do on a day-to-day. In order to be that, I must consume those types of things around me. And so I would just urge you to practice doing something very similar in whatever arena it is. Curating what you consume goes way past the Instagrams and TikToks of the world. It is curating a world around you from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep that protects and provides a space that is going to help evolve you and grow you into whatever arena you're looking to get into. Reasons why I'm bringing this up, like I said, it started with, I was very vulnerable with this entire platform. But it's not just about that. It's, okay, can I be very real with you guys? Like just for a quick second. It has to do with just today's political arena. We are so polarized in one extreme or the other. We're no longer able to have meaningful conversations with real life data and examples to lend itself behind and find happy mediums. We're either all the way left or we're all the way right. And in that regard, it feels draining to be able to have conversations of depth when you can't any longer because it just creates chaos and uncertainty. And if you say one thing, it all of a sudden means this and third. And to be fully transparent, most people actually don't even know what makes a government, what makes decisions in Congress or anything of that nature. And again, I'm going completely in a field that I don't talk about, but politics is a huge one in today's day and age. Other areas of clickbait are, your reality TVs of the world and everything else. Like there's so much that can actually bring you down as a person that it creates for you to have a disconnect between real life and reality and what one perceives reality to be. But making opportunities to consume and curate the world that you want to experience and have will make all the difference in the world. So questions that you might ask yourself when trying to be mindful living in this loud world that we talk about. What am I chasing that isn't actually for me, right? What is it that I'm chasing? You see, we can get really, really good at the rat race of life. We can really become consumed with the chase of it all. And that goes hand in hand with this clickbait culture because we're just quick with it now. attention spans are less than 20 seconds at this point when you're looking at trying to engage individuals. They say that within the first 20 seconds, you have to engage your audience in order to ensure that they want to continue to listen to what it is you've got going on. And the same happens in real life. No one is taking time to have meaningful and deep conversations. That goes along with the chase of life. What are we chasing? We're constantly on this rat race of just going and going and going. And again, it creates that consistency of just that quick clickbait type of dopamine situations. But have you ever taken the time to just stop and ask yourself, what am I chasing? And is it actually good for me? Is it going to help me become the person that I'm hoping to be? Is the person that I'm hoping to become in alignment with what I'm chasing? Are we in alignment with one another? And then another question that you can literally do that you can question yourself, should I say, on a regular basis is, where can I be more intentional today? Where should I spend more time? For self, I can say, here's an example of that in real life time. Because of the fact that, as I said, and I'm not going to plug it again, but if you are in the central Pennsylvania area, I do practice real estate. Boom. Kidding. But if you are an individual that works in high-paced, high-moving, quick-going type of situations, it's very easy to get consumed with the workday and forget about relationships at times. So one way that I have been practicing being intentional for myself is, if a random name just pops up in my name, like if I think about somebody randomly and there's no rhyme or reason behind it, I have made it a practice to stop whatever it is I'm doing and contacting that individual right then and there with an actual phone call. Not a text, not a tweet, not a whatever, a phone call. And doing the best that I can to be intentional with that time, that conversation, and checking in to be sure that those individuals are okay in the moments that they come to mind. I have made it a practice to, whether I'm driving in my car, cleaning or whatever, if something comes to mind randomly, I stop and I think why. If it's a name, I'm calling that person. If it's an activity, I'm stopping and I'm looking into, is this activity something that feels like it's an essential for me to move forward? Is this something that I need to do? Is this whatever it is that coming to mind because I need to recollect my own thoughts? I need to sit down. I need to stop. I am really, really looking to practice intentionality in every arena of my life. And I personally believe that the practice of doing that is going in complete opposite of clickbait culture, which is the reason why I say, let us find an opportunity to be true to selves and practice going against what those clickbait things are for us, and however that looks for you. In my opinion, and this is like the quick way to just give it to you in a bow, and making sure that you understand it, is that every time you choose your integrity, you water that seed of legacy. Anytime you choose being true to self over doing something because you feel like that's going to be the next best thing, and you stay true to self, you are choosing legacy over clickbait. So this was just a quick reset, an idea of what it is that I've got going on and why I've taken a quick pause on creating and going against clickbait. And as I always do, I'm going to give you guys just some quick takeaways on how to move forward in this arena with clickbait culture. So the first takeaway that I will say is, clickbait is loud, but it's often empty. Depth lasts longer than going viral. I'm not even going to try and say the word, just being viral. The second key takeaway to go against this clickbait culture and to really be mindful is pausing before you act or post brings you back into alignment with your purpose. So think on that. pausing. Again, this isn't just about the social media aspect. This is a clickbait culture. So pause before, whether it's a posting or a movement or a doing, whatever it is. Just take moments to check in with self and remind yourself those same questions that I said. Like, what am I doing to be intentional? Am I being true to myself? Is this in alignment with my purpose? Pausing and doing those quick things and asking questions are ways to kind of go against it. Third key takeaway is your personal impact metric matters more than public metrics. So redefine what success means on your terms. Redefine what it looks like to be successful and how does that show up for you. And my last key takeaway for this nice little check-in with you guys is you can be visible without compromising your values. Authenticity still cuts through the noise. Authenticity and being true to self will always surpass and supersede the next best, the next trend, the next click. So take a moment, pause in it, be true to yourself, and I'd invite you to do one intentional thing today. Take that moment and figure out what it is and do one intentional thing today. Whether that's posting with purpose, pausing before consuming, or reflecting before reacting. Take a moment to do that. So as always, guys, sending light, sending love, just getting back into the swing of things and wanting to reconnect with you guys. So let us all go against clickbait culture and look to be more authentic and more true to self moving forward. Till the next time. Bye.